Hello there, welcome to the second challenge and the third video for Tony's beginner guitar level. So today we're going to look at chords. Hopefully you've had a good time with the riffs and message me if you've got any questions. Let's move on to the next challenge. So what is a chord? So a chord is when you play multiple notes at the same time. Our riffs play one note after another. Our chords play lots of notes at the same time. You play songs like this. One thing, you make my heart sing, you make everything, etc. Yeah? So chords are really useful tool on the guitar. They're really important. A very prominent part of guitar playing. So if you know 4 chords and you play them in a different rhythm pattern with different lyrics, you can already play hundreds of songs, quite literally. Okay, you need to get used to the chords so that you can play them fast and you can change between them confidently. Okay, but you can play hundreds of songs with just 3 or 4 chords. Okay, so a really good example of this, if you go onto YouTube and you type in 4 chords, the first video that should come up is 4 Chords by Axis of Awesome. It's a really good song where 3 guys do a lot of silly things in the video. It's very funny and a lot of fun. But they show examples of how just 4 chords can be played with loads and loads of really popular chart-topping songs. Yeah, I suggest going and having a listen to that. However, parents, guardians, please be aware that towards the end of the video there is a swear word. So you may want to check out that video yourself first and cut it off halfway. There's a good 5 minutes odd of the video where it doesn't have anything like that. So it's a very good example to use. Okay, so let's get into how we play our chords then. So after the first information sheet, which you're more than welcome to look through, the second sheet should look like this. They are our chord diagrams, okay? So the reason we follow chord diagrams and not tablature for chords, okay, you can use tab for chords, but that's once you've gotten used to the chords, is because tablature doesn't show us where our fingers should go for chords. We have a 4-finger 4-fret method for riffs, which works great, but it's not the same for chords, okay? So we have these diagrams instead, which make it easier for us to understand. So let's take a look at the first diagram. It is an E chord. Okay, this is an E major, but we just call it an E, and we have a little EM if it's a minor. We'll get into that later on. Okay, so the first diagram, you see an E, and then you see 6 strings. On the left hand side there is a thick string, and on the right hand side there's the thin string. So the thick string is of course your top string and the thin string is your bottom string on your guitar. Then we have 5 frets in total, okay? And those frets are here, look, going across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then finally we have these little red numbers on the strings, okay? Those red numbers are your fingers, okay? So if I take E, then fret 1 on the 4th string down, I'm going to put my number 1 first finger. So E, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's where my first finger goes. 2nd fret, 2nd string, 2nd finger. That's my next one. And the 3rd finger, you'll notice, is not moving fret. It's in the exact same fret directly underneath. Okay, now you can squidge these in. You won't be able to put them right on top of each other. Okay, that's absolutely fine. If your finger is towards the fret that is away from you instead of the one towards you, like we learn how to do it, you can counter that and still make it clear by adding more pressure. Okay, the pressure is the key. All right, so I can still play with my finger this side of the guitar if I press down hard enough, but it hurts a bit more because you have to press harder to make sure it's clear. Okay, let's play that E. So you've got your fingers in the right place. 1st finger 4th string down, 2nd finger 2nd string 2nd fret, 3rd finger 2nd fret, 3rd string, and then you strum all the strings. sound like that. Now what I recommend is that you strum the strings individually after you've strummed them all together. That way you can see if all the strings are clear, and if you have a string that is not clear, what you can do is identify what string that is, so that's the third string, identify what finger that is, so it's my third finger, and I can see what's causing the problem. So my third finger right now is not putting enough pressure on. So if I put more pressure down, ta-da, it goes clear. Clear string, clear chord. Now the other thing that it might be, it could be, for example, your fourth string is not coming through clear, okay? But I'm thinking, oh, I've got plenty of pressure on my first finger, so why is that not coming through clear? Okay, well have a look. Your fourth string, what's it hitting? Okay, it's actually hitting my third string, my third finger. My third finger's slightly down and it's on that string, but it needs to hit my first finger. So if my third finger's hitting the string, it's not going to get to the third, to the first finger. So you need to then make sure that you lift that third finger up so that it's, I call it bridging, yeah, so that it's a good enough bridge so that the string is not touching anything until it hits that first finger, which is what it should be touching. And that way, again, you can clear it up. So that is our E chord. Now what I'm going to recommend is once you've played that chord, take your hand away, play it again, and again, and again, and just keep doing it. You should eventually get to a point where you can do this without even having to look. It's called muscle memory. Yeah, you want to build up that muscle memory. The more you get used to it, the better. So let's move on to our next chord, A. Now there is a new piece of information on this chord that is important that we need to look at. Okay, first of all, let's look at where our fingers go. So you've got second fret, second string, third string is where our first finger is going to go. Fourth string and fifth string down are where the second and third finger are going to go. So it's all in the same fret. So these really need to squish together to make sure that it's nice and clear. Now, the new piece of information that we're going to look at is, do you see the noughts and crosses that are at the top of this diagram? Yeah? The zeros are what we call open strings, just like the zeros on the tablature. They are strings that we play with no fingers on. The X's, the cross, it means no fingers and nothing coming from that string. So don't play that string at all, okay? So for the A, you're only actually playing 5 strings. You're playing from the second string down, the A string. Now this chord, okay, if you struggle to fit all 3 fingers, you can just use 2 fingers flattened over those 3 strings. Shortcut methods or ways to make it easier for yourself are okay, as long as it sounds the same. We're musicians, so it's ultimately the sound that we get from the guitar that is the important part that we're going to be looking at. Okay, that is our A chord. Let's have a look at the D next. So the D, you've got 2 X's, so that means you're only playing 4 strings. I call this one the triangle, because if you look on the sheet, it forms a triangle. So you've got 2 X's, then you've got an open string, then you've got your first finger on the 4th string down. Okay, this is the G string, it's on the 2nd fret. Second finger is on the bottom string, also in the 2nd fret. Third finger is in the middle of those 2, so it's on the 5th string and it's in the 3rd fret. Sounds like this. D, beautiful D. Once you've got through a few of these chords, what you want to do is you want to start taking your fingers off, like I said, to give yourself muscle memory, and change between them. Just to get yourself really used to the position of these chords. Okay, the final chord that we've got then is our G chord. And the G chord, gorgeous G, is all 6 strings. Your first finger's on the 2nd string, 2nd fret. Your second finger's on the top string, 3rd fret. And your 3rd and 4th string are on the bottom 2, 3rd and 4th finger are on the bottom 2 strings, also in the 3rd fret. Looks like that, sounds like this. So that is my G chord. Okay, again, I'll start playing between all 4 chords and really get myself used to the position. What you want to do is you want to try and memorize the position, okay, so that you're not having to look at the sheet and you can just look through and play those chords comfortably. Okay, then we have our next sheet, which is called chord progressions. Okay, so these are progressions of chords that once played in this order, you're playing the song. Properly a song. So let's have a look at these songs that we've got. So these are to help you get used to the chords. We have the Tide is High as the first one. Sounds like this. Tide is high, but I'm holding on. I'm gonna be your number one. I'm not the kind of girl that gives up just like that. Oh no, every girl wants you to be her man. And it literally does that throughout pretty much the entire song. Okay, so you've got 3 chords there, and you're playing 4 times. So you've got A twice, then you've got a D, then an E. Don't worry if you can't play super fast, just have a go and see if you can play around that order to play that song. Twist and Shout is our next one. So we've got 2 Gs, 2 Ds, 2 Gs, and 4 As. Twist and shout. Come on, baby, now. Come on, baby, now. You know it looks so good. Now, some of these are played with more upbeat patterns like that, okay? But you get into those rhythm patterns later on when you get more comfortable with the chords and the guitar. I've put them in simple orders, simple strums, just to get yourself really used to it, and you can still tell what the song it is. Etc. So that is D twice, G twice, A 4 times. Now when you do the D to G, little tip for you, when you play D and move to G, keep your 3rd finger down. It's a shortcut, helps change between the G and the G fast. My 3rd finger is not moving at all. And that progression is used so much. Loads of songs use that kind of progression. Okay, then we've got Trogs, which is the one that I played earlier. So you've got A twice, played slowly, A, D twice fast, then E, slowly, D twice fast. Walking, you make my heart sing. Okay, and then finally you've got Bad Moon Rising. Again, don't worry if you can't play these super fast, just give them the best that you can do. Bad Moon Rising, D's twice, A, G, D twice, and D twice again. I see bad moon rising, I see trouble on the way, I see hurricanes and lightning, I see bad times today, don't tell tonight, etc. So that is Bad Moon Rising. You got D twice fast, then A to G, back to D twice fast, and D twice fast again, and then repeat. And that's what it does for the chorus. So I hope you enjoyed those. Have some fun with them, play around them, get yourself comfortable, and ask me if you got any questions. tonestuition@gmail.com, and then I will see you in the next lesson for rhythm. Thank you.